The transformation or metamorphosis of Afrofunk band Sweet Breeze to Esbee Family best represents the transition between the Afrofunk genre that was the predominant contemporary music genre of the 70s in Nigeria to the pop era of the early to mid 80s in Nigerian music history. Let's take a step back to the history of the band Sweet Breeze. It all started when Bazy Cole, Dallas Anyanwu, Anyoarah, and Iketonye, all students at the IMT, Enugu, teamed up with Innocent Iwuagwa, popularly known as StoneFace Iwuagwa, to form the Life Everlasting Band in the cold city of Enugu in the early 70s. The result being the release of two singles, Love is Free and Every Day, in 1973. Fast forward to 1976, the Life Everlasting setup, which was actually termed StoneFace Iwuagwa and the Life Everlasting Band, has ceased to exist, with the Life Everlasting component transforming to Sweet Breeze and releasing their first album titled Across the Desert in the same 1976. Sweet Breeze turned out to be one of the most notable bands of the Afrofunk era, their lineup being Bazy Cole on the drums, Dallas Anyanwu on the vocals, Anyoarah on the guitar, and being Iketonye on the bass. Across the Desert came out with multiple hit songs, or can I say a continuous hit album, including songs like Across the Desert, Chasing After Rainbow, Mr. and Mrs. Fool, She's Cooler Than You, Good Luck to You, Palm Wine the Tapper, Feelings, Hard to Please Girl, Wrong to Right, and True True Love, with the production credits going to Paul Akalonu, the elder brother of drummer Bazy Cole, or Basil Akalonu. Paul Akalonu will turn out to be the most prolific producer of the Afro-funk music genre. Paul Akalonu was also a notable TV personality and presenter of the Corners Club and Now Sound on NTA ABBA. Sweet Breeze toured Nigeria and had an appeal with music lovers, being the first group of graduates and undergraduates to play music as a band. In 1978, Sweet Breeze moved to EMI and released the second album titled Songs of Breeze, and by this time they had been joined by keyboardist Nestor Phillips. Songs of Breeze have songs like Ibaraka Bilum, Episostomology, Fire Demand, Funk, Sorrow Sorrow, and other tracks. It must be said that Song of Breeze did not meet up with the standard set by Across the Desert. In the same year, 1978, Sweet Breeze released their third album titled Advice. Advice had songs like She's My Choice, Confidential Bye Bye, Boy Oh Boy, Mrs. Patience Without Patience, Mr. Beggar Has No Town Man, and God Is Love. The album was still produced by Paul Akalonu, and it brought back the days of the first album, and it was a better album than the second album. In 1979, still under the EMI Records label, Sweet Breeze released Fire in a Jar, their fourth album, which had a touch of reggae, I Feel of Reggae, in the production. Some of the songs include Fire in the Jar, which actually laid the reggae-ish mode of their recording. The band's fifth album, titled Sweet Home, came in 1980 and contains songs like Sweet Home, Tell Me If You Love Me, and Dance, Dance, Dance. After this album, most of the members of the band relocated to the United Kingdom for further studies and other endeavors, and this marked the end of this great era. But before then, Sweet Breeze was actually one of the most notable bands of that era, the Afrofunk era, and their music is still being played across radio stations and individuals in Nigeria and all over the world. After the release of Sweet Breeze's fifth album, some of the band members moved to the United Kingdom. It did really seem as a breakup, but in the words of Bazy Cole, the group members never broke up as the group remained one big family, but the members had reasons to pursue further academic studies in the United Kingdom. Bazy Cole and Iketonye stayed back in Nigeria while Jackie Moore and Dallas King joined up with Obika and Sollo in the United Kingdom to form Esbee Family, which seems to be from the acronym S and B of Sweet Breeze. Obika has been an associate of the band Sweet Breeze before he left for further studies in Canada. So his rejoining the setup as Esbee Family actually seemed like a homecoming, a return to the fold by Obika. Being Iketonye, the bassist who became the most popular bassist in the Afrofunk era, was the actual replacement of Obika when he left Nigeria for further academic studies overseas. Iketonye was a student of UNN, that is University of Nigeria in Nsukka, southeast of Nigeria, when he joined the band. Indeed, Esbee Family was what can describe as a super band or a collective made up of a faction of the Sweet Breeze, Obika, Sollo, who had played with Osibisa, and in later years they were joined by Galaxy, an appendage band of Sollo made up of British trio vocalists, which we'll talk about them in a few moments. Esbee Family released their first album, Chicks and Chicken, in 1980 under the third tone imprint of Tabansi Records, switching from the Afro-funk feel to a more captivating funk, soul, boogie, and disco music, which was popping up in Nigeria as the music playbook opened to the new Nigerian pop era. Sollo took the production duties. Sollo took the production duties with Kingsley Dallas Kingsley taking the lead vocals, Obika on the bass guitar, Jackie Moore on the lead guitars. Esbee Family were complemented on this album with the backing vocal of the trio of Carol Ingrams, Pamela Douglas, and Tom Jones, with Carol Ingrams and Pamela Douglas taking the lead on Let Them Do It To You and My Sick Love, songs coming off from the album Chicks and Chicken. In those days, it was a lot of confusion to actually pin the background of Esbee Family because of their urban nature and great fashion sense that both guys and ladies in the team exhibited. It was very difficult to know they were Africans or Nigerians for that matter. And the delivery of their song was impeccable, making it very difficult to actually pin where these guys came from, especially those that never realized that they were an offshoot of the Nigerian band Sweet Breeze. In 1982, Esbee Family released their sophomore and final album, Peace of Mind, still under the third tone imprint of Tabansi Records. This time around, Sollo, the musical mastermind, brought in the British vocal trio of Tracy King, Wendy Harris, and Pat Henry, collectively called Galaxy, into the Esbee Family setup. This Galaxy were different from Phil Ferron's Galaxy, the British pop group Galaxy, and they were Sollo's musical appendage, who also had an album released in Nigeria under the Tabansi label in 1981. Peace of Mind was a beautiful and successful follow-up to the first album, Chicks and Chicken. And in the album, Tracy King took leads on the song My Man Understands, which was more or less an anthem in the Nigerian music scene and a party banger of those days. Female British singer Lorna Rowe also took the lead on the song I Don't Know What to Do, completely making the album a very contemporary and urban album that could match any album of those days, both in United Kingdom and in Nigeria. Esbee Family's two-album offering was sufficient to imprint them on the minds of Nigerians as one of the greatest bands of the early to mid-80s that saw the rise of the pop music phenomenon in Nigeria. Their recordings enjoyed technical input from Stephen Seal, a saxophonist, Trevor Marrell, a drummer, trumpeter Jeff Hines, and percussionist Namali Kamara, and alto saxophonist Mike Rose, and the album recordings took place principally in London, United Kingdom, even though the label was a Nigerian label, Tetone from Tabansi. The backbone of Esbee Family had been the Sweet Breeze, and in the words of Basil Akolonu of Bazy Cole, the band remained one big family. Basil himself had started music earlier with the very best band, the Blossoms, which later changed to the Bluebirds, and also had a stint with Obika Strangers before his move to study at Enugu, where Sweet Breeze was formed. Indeed, Sweet Breeze remained one big family, as the band has had reason to regroup for special performances, including the April 2017 appearance in the Anambra State government organized shows for the pop stars of the 70s. On May 6, 2017, Vin Iketonye, who was popularly known as Kanaya, who had been enjoying a great life in his hometown in Anambra State, passed away during a visit to his Lagos home. Vin was one of the best bass guitarists in the 70s bubbly Nigerian music scene. Bazy Cole, who ventured into marketing and public relations business, passed on the 8th of August 2023. Bazy Cole was based in Abuja, the federal capital of Nigeria, while Jackie Moore, whose real name was Maurice Anyanwu, passed on in 2021 in America. He has been involved in the social care industry in the United States of America. Dallas Kingsley Anyanwu, the lead vocalist of the Sweet Breeze, returned to Nigeria after his stint in the United Kingdom. He's now a pastor and is based in Owerri, the capital city of Imo State in Nigeria. Not much has been heard about Nestor Phillips after the last album by Sweet Breeze, as he was not part of the Esbee Family setup. Until now, we don't know so much about what had happened to him, but we are still digging. When we have it, we'll let you know. Roy Obika, on his part, went into production and was involved in part of the early 80s as a producer, some of the albums that came out in that period. Sollo became one of the most prominent and influential producers ever produced by Nigeria in the 80s. Unfortunately, he met an untimely death in a car accident somewhere in Anambra State, along with Al Jackson, another musician of that era. We'll have a special episode for Sollo in a little while. Thank you for staying with us on this episode. I hope we were able to break down the connection between Sweet Breeze and Esbee Family and the intervening transition between their music, which represented this transition between the Afrofunk era to the pop music era in Nigerian music history. If you are new to this channel, kindly help us by subscribing to the channel and click on the likes and on the comments as we continue to bring to you Nigerian music history on Music in My Ears. Thank you. Peace.